Thank you very much. Further debate, the member for Trinity-Spadina.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm very pleased to rise and debate this very important bill brought forward by the member from Eglinton Lawrence, named the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness, Research and Care Act 2015. I noticed that there has been quite a bit of attention given to this bill since being introduced recently. And other than the coverage on media, I actually received emails from my constituency. Constituents felt passionately about this bill, and they urged me to support this bill. And I would like to quote one of the emails. Reads as, "Losing a baby is very traumatic for a family. It goes against the nature order of things. It can leave families feeling isolated and alone. These families are grieving and need access to support and resources which are sorely lacking today." And which brings me to my memory of my fond memory of first having my two kids 7 years ago, when my daughter was first born at Mount Sinai, which is a wonderful facility situated in my riding. There were entire wraparound service around my wife, the mother, and the newborn. I remember there was specifically on postpartum depression, and the mother was cared for that. And I felt, wow, this is one of, I've never experienced this before. Similar experience when my son was born, Matthew, was born 2 years after. So I'm a little surprised by the lack of service or support in place for those who lose infant babies or had a miscarriage. And to me, I think they probably go through even greater chance of emotional distress. So I fully support this bill. I think it speaks to some of the gap in service, and if passed, it would establish and expand comprehensive research initiatives and programs to assist mothers and families who experience pregnancy loss and infant death, undertaking a comprehensive comparative analysis to understand the factor that contribute to an increased risk of pregnancy loss or infant death. This is very important because this day and age, we all have Blackberries and cell phones. Everyone's working on their laptop. You'll think that collection of data is so easy, but yet we're still dealing with an area where limited data is available for any analysis, for the ministry even look at it and make some policy around it. So I think this bill does just that. It actually shed a light and call out the need for more data collection, more attention paid in this area. And the member from Eglinton Lawrence gave us some good numbers on good stats on infant loss in the past. And I think it is time for the province and for this government to take a look at what we can do to provide that very much needed support. And it also speaks to develop and expand programs to help reduce the risk of pregnancy loss and infant death. Develop and expand existing programs across Ontario to provide counseling and support to mothers and families who have experienced a pregnancy loss or infant death. Now, I said I can only imagine a parent going through losing a child because it's any time you lose a family member, you need time to grieve and you remember the good times you have with this family member. In this case, it'd be very difficult because I can only imagine the parent going back home and seeing the room prepared for the newborn, everything, and start to wonder, what would be like. They can only imagine what could be like as opposed to remember those fond moments. So I think the support has to be there to these mothers and father as well to go through the very, very tough period of time. You also suggest to undertake a comprehensive analysis and survey of the best practice in other jurisdictions in regards to prevention of pregnancy loss or infant death. We have to look around the world and see how other places are dealing with this issue. And I think that if we put our minds and resource in this, we could be a leader in this area. Now, I just had recently visit China, and they're envy of our biomedical science and the way that we manage our medical system here. And I think if we start paying attention to this area, we could be the leader in this area and provide further assistance, not just to Ontarians, but outside Ontario and even the world. So I'm fully supporting this bill, and I want to thank the member for bringing it forward, and look forward to further discussion on this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.